Okay, so let's start now. So today we're going to discuss about checkpoint HA and then checkpoint remote access VPN. So first I'll start with checkpoint remote access VPN because we are in fact somewhat better in remote access VPN because last week only we discussed remote access VPN of Palo Alto. So today we'll discuss about remote access VPN of Checkpoint. See, the concept is same, right? We recently discussed remote access VPN in Palo Alto, so you know what the concept is. You know, okay, it's nothing but if you are joining, no, if you're in a different place and if you wanted to access the office resource, you cannot access it from the place where you are in, right? You have to connect your office to via remote access VPN. And setting up remote access VPN in Checkpoint is really a very easy task, right? Because in Palo Alto, do you guys remember, I had a whole set of steps, somewhere around 30 to 40 steps you guys have to configure not to bring Palo Alto remote access VPN. But in Checkpoint, it is very, very easy. It just hardly, it will take some 5 to 10 minutes of time to finish the Checkpoint remote access VPN. Okay, first let us finish Checkpoint remote access and then we can come to Checkpoint HA, high availability. Let me open the lab now. Let me log into my admin account. Okay, so we're gonna get into VPN, Checkpoint VPN. See, this is something that we discussed already. Checkpoint Palo Alto remote site-to-site VPN. So we have to discuss this. Checkpoint remote access VPN. See, the topology is kind of a simple topology. And like we have the same topology. We have the Chennai office, we have inside zone, we have DMC zone, and we have the ISP router. And this is where the remote client is. Right? This guy is the internet user, or maybe our office employee who wanted to join, or who wanted to connect to our office network via remote access VPN, and he should be able to access all the local resources. Okay. Okay. Let me start the devices. See, we have to start doing from the first time wizard because I was working on this lab till few minutes back and it was perfectly working. This lab in HA lab was actually working and it was working perfectly. And then I wiped the lab. So we have to build everything from the scratch, right? Nothing, right? We have to just create some first time wizard and after that create some rules. Okay, let me go and start this Windows machine. Okay, want to increase the resolution. Okay, so we'll go and assign an IP address, a static IP 1.3. After this, we have to go and do the first time wizard for the SMS and the gateway. 1.3, gateway 1.1, and then DNS 8888. Okay, so now let's take Internet Explorer and type the IP address 1.1, HTTPS slash 192.1.1. Sorry, I think 1.2 came. Okay, let me type 1. In the next tab. Okay, it's trying to connect. Let's go and check and ping and check. Ping 192.1.1. Yes, 1 is reachable. 1.2 is also reachable. So we should get the graphical user interface anytime now. Type again 192.1.1. I think it's connecting now. Okay, let's go and configure the gateway first. The username password is admin123. Okay, next, a normal first time is that people who are watching the recording, you can skip this because it's a normal thing. Normally, generally how you do the first time is the same way. So please wait. Okay, next. Okay, we'll have the name as Chennai Gateway. DNS 8888. Next, next, next. So this is going to be security gateway. So we'll check security gateway alone. Activation key root 123. It is a SIC password. Okay. So it's going to start the first time wizard now. After a couple of minutes, it will reboot. Let us go and configure the SMS now. Okay, admin 123. Next, next. This guy security gateway. Sorry, the security management server. So we have to uncheck security gateway. Next, next, next. Finish. Okay. So now I think this will take a few more minutes, and we can go back to the gateway and we can configure the other interface IP addresses. So we have to configure the interface IP addresses 2.1 and 200.1.16 because yeah, this IP is already configured, but this IP in this IP gently we used to configure, right? And also we used to configure default route. So we have to do these three things: configuring these two interface IP addresses and then the default route. So let's go and do that on the Chennai gateway, and then we can connect this Chennai SMS, and then we can configure remote access VPN on the Chennai gateway. Okay, it's rebooting. Let us wait. Okay, log into the gateway admin 123. Okay, network interfaces. You have to configure the E1, which is going to be 2.1 interface. So enable the interface IP address 192.168.2.1. Subnet mask 255.255.255.0. And then the third interface is going to be the public IP interface. So we have to configure 200.1.1.16. Mask is same. Okay, perfect. So next, I think we can go. I think this guy, once he is done, we should be able to go and connect with the security management server from the Windows PC. Okay. So sorry, I need to configure the default route as well. Sorry, I forgot that. So we'll configure the default route. So this is a default route, edit it. And then the next, add a gateway. And then the next to hop IP address will be 200.1.1.1. Okay. So yes, now we have a default route configured. I think everything is configured. We just wanted to wait for this to complete. Once that is done, from this Windows machine, we should be able to contact this SMS and then contact this Chennai gateway. Okay, so also want to add one thing here. See, we have a Windows 10 machine here, and usually we all know how the VPN process will work, right? We need to have a VPN client on the device. VPN client on the device. So with the help of a VPN client, you can connect to the VPN server, right? VPN gateway. See, you guys remember, no? In Palo Alto, we had something called Global Protect. So they have a product called Global Protect. So with the help of that product, that is a VPN client for Palo Alto, right? Like how we have Global Protect for Palo Alto, we have Checkpoint has got something called endpoint security. Endpoint security. So that is nothing but the name of the VPN client that Checkpoint is offering. So like how we have GP for Palo Alto, we have endpoint security for Checkpoint. And see, what generally happens is in Palo Alto, you know that Global Protect, what we did is we downloaded Global Protect from the gateways, right? First you connect to the VPN gateway, you give your username password, and then you can download the VPN client and you can install the application, right? But in Checkpoint, it's not like that. What Checkpoint they do is, right, they have a separate website for themselves, right? In that website, you can go and download the VPN client. Right? You cannot download the VPN client from the VPN gateway. That's not possible. You can download the VPN client from the from their website itself, right? You can go and make a Google search. Maybe I'll just do that. Which application you have to exactly download is, you have to go to Google and Checkpoint endpoint security VPN download. And the first link you can get it. So download VPN, and you have for Mac, and you have for Windows, and also you have for Android and all. Also you have browser which is called as an SSL VPN. Okay, Windows and Mac, we are talking about client VPN. So these are the applications now, depending on your OS, you can download this one or this one. Right? And what I did here is, right, I already downloaded this application on this Windows PC and I kept it, right? So you can find the you can find the endpoint security on the Windows device, but you have to understand what I did is I downloaded this VPN client from the internet. I have installed on this Windows machine, right? But if you're a person who's setting up, you can download the VPN client from their website itself, right? Hope you got it. Right, I've already kept it installed. You don't have to download anything. You can just like that. You can connect to the gateway. Those who don't have the client, they have to download from the internet and they can connect. So let's go and log into this Windows machine. Windows 10 it is. So if we log into Windows 10 machine, the password is welcome. Okay, so okay, so yes, you have the Windows 10 machine here, and if you go and check in the start, we have recently added application called Endpoint Security. Okay, Checkpoint Endpoint Security. So this is a client VPN for Checkpoint, and we also have GP, which is the client VPN for Palo Alto, and Cisco. They have got something called AnyConnect. AnyConnect is a client that Cisco offers. AnyConnect is a VPN application for Cisco, GP for PA, endpoint security for Checkpoint. Okay, so let's go and I think yes, we have this endpoint security ready. Right, you can go and it'll be even in the start. You can go and just go and connect. And it says there is no site configured. You would like to configure the site, yes. But these things can be done after we configure the gateway, right? Because the gateway right now doesn't have any VPN configuration. We have to go and configure this gateway via this SMS, and we have to configure the VPN feature, and then we can use this client machine to access this gateway, right? Okay, so yes, I have already downloaded and I kept it. You guys can also use it, but in real time, if you don't have a client, you have to download from the internet, and it won't be available from the Checkpoint gateway. Like Palo Alto, it won't be available. So let's go and configure. Let's close this and close this also. Let's go to the Windows machine and let us go and connect to the Chennai SMS. Okay, let's go and start the Smart Console. Okay, let me log into the SMS. Okay, proceed. Okay, I think it says server is initializing. Maybe we need to wait for a few minutes. We try again now. Admin 123. Okay, the same error. Let us wait. Okay, so meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll go and configure this web server with an IP address 2.2, because once we have remote access connection, we can go and check the reachability from this remote line to this web server. So let's go and configure this server IP address. Start this guy. Give him an IP address 2.2. So SHIF config SH 192.168.2.2 258.258.2.0 192.168.2.1 gateway 8888. Okay, so I think we are done. If you want, you can also check this guy. We can start and you can check him also. We can give him an IP address. He's an SSH server. So let's go and give him an IP address 192.168 2.3 2.18888. Okay, so now let us go and try him again. So admin. Okay, it's initializing the services. Now we should get the smart console of, so we can get the SMS now, and from the SMS we can add the gateway and we can configure the remote access VPN. Okay, let's go and add the gateway first. New gateway. So we're gonna add the Chennai gateway. So chgw Chennai gateway open server IP address 192.1.1. Time password is root 123. So yes, this is the device. Let's go and finish. Okay. So now what I want to do is I wanted to see few things, right? First, we have to go and enable the remote access VPN blade in the checkpoint device, and we have to go and add some users, and we have to create some rules. So only three things, right? First, you have to enable the checkpoint feature. So for that, I'm going to go to the click on the gateway, and I'll be getting the gateway properties. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check a couple of things. One is IPsec VPN, the other one is mobile access, right? Even though we are connecting to mobile access, we definitely need IPsec VPN because this remote access VPN is also working on IPsec VPN based on it. Right? We have a IPsec remote access VPN. That is how it is generally called as. We have two types of remote access VPN. One is SSL, the other one is remote access. Right. So here we're gonna go with one is SSL, the other one is IPsec. So we're gonna go with IPsec remote access VPN. So I just uncheck these things. These are things I don't want. I'm not gonna go with SSL VPN, or I don't want any mobile VPN. What I want is I just want to connect my laptop and desktop to the network. Right? If you want, you can also enable them, but generally not required. So usually we used to connect from the laptop or desktop only. So I'm just see when you so let me show you again. When you click on this mobile access, it will open a window like this in which web will be selected, mobile will be selected. You have to uncheck these two things and you have to select only the remote access for the desktop and laptop. Next. Okay. So it says, do you have any Active Directory setup? Because when you have an Active Directory setup, automatically the users, once they log into their PC, based on their Active Directory authentication, you can work. Right? So since we don't have any AD environment, I would like to say I don't want to use an AD Active Directory now. I don't want to use the AD now, which means it says that now we have to create all your username passwords yourself, the local username password. If you have an AD environment, you can integrate the VPN with AD environment so that our users can use their common password, which is the common office password, even to connect to the VPN. So since we don't have AD, I'm just going to check this. I don't want to use AD now. And next, yes, that's it. Finish. Okay. And the next thing is, so first you have to check IPsec, and next you have to check mobile access. In the mobile access, you have to check only the remote access VPN for laptops and desktops. And the next thing is you have to go for the IPsec VPN, and you have to give the link selection. So select the link, and then oh sorry, I think when you select this, nothing will pop up here. Why it's not popping up is, let me give cancel. Let me check again. Okay. See, I canceled everything. I didn't give okay at all. I canceled everything. That is why IPsec VPN is also unchecked. Mobile is also unchecked. See, first what I have to do is I have to go and check my I have to get my interfaces from the firewall, right? So only then you can choose a link selection properly. So this is something we have already done, right? So we know this is get interface with topology, and then we configure zones here. So this is the topology that we are looking for. Let's go and fetch that. And then here you can go and configure the zones. So let me go and edit the first one. I'm going to configure them as inside zone. So new inside. We're going to have DMC here. And we're going to have sorry, we're going to have outside here. Okay. So we have the interfaces now fetched. Now we can go and go to the general properties. Now we can check this IPsec, and we can check this mobile access, and then uncheck this and check this one alone. I think I have to uncheck this. Okay. So we have the desktop and laptop category alone here. Next, we don't have AD. Next. Okay, finish. So now what I have to do is I have to go to the IPsec VPN and check this. In the link selection, you have to choose the public IP address. Okay, this is the VPN IP selection. So you have to check this. And I think that's it, right? You don't have to do anything else, right? Everything else is a default setting only. You just wanted to add the networks into the firewall at the topology, and then you have to choose the link selection. So this is the IP address that we're gonna use for the clients to connect to our gateway. Okay, so I think that's enough. So okay, just give this. Okay, so the next thing is we have to create some users, and we have to add the user in that particular group. So let me go and add some users here, because these are the users. Since we have the local authentication, right? Two ways of authentications are in. We already covered in the Palo Alto also, right? Where we have a local username password that we'll create on the device, and this guy have to type the username password in order to connect to the network, right? Whereas if you have an AD environment, right, this guy will give the username password, and the firewall will go and authenticate that username password with the AD, and the AD will give the response, and then the client will be accordingly permitted if the username password is right. So you have two ways of authentication. One is you can have the username password on the device itself. You can create username passwords on the local device, that is local authentication, or you can have a authentication from the Windows AD environment, or you can have LDAP or Radius or TAGX, whatever it is, right? So there are multiple authentication method, but the simple authentication method is always local authentication. So we just create few user accounts here, and that user can alone log in from this device. But in the real-time environment, in the enterprise environment, you cannot authenticate with local users, because there'll be thousands of employees in a company, and you cannot have a local authentication for them. But for this example, we'll go with local authentication itself. So I'm just going to create few users on the firewall. Okay, users. Okay, so there is a, let me go new, more, user, and user. Okay, And there is a template, right? Basically, every employee, you can create a template and you can just create employees based on, or you can create users based on the template. There is a default template that is available always, which is a default template. You can just gonna choose that, or you can create your own template even. And based on the template, few settings can be automatically filled whenever you use the template. See, template is nothing but, most of things will be filled and you just fill the required fields, that is what the template is. And already there is a default template that is created by Checkpoint. We're going to use the default template. If you want, you can also create a template. I'm going to go with the default template. Okay, so what's the name? So let's have the name as test user. Okay, that's a username. And I'm going to give the password, sorry, mail ID as testuser@gmail.com. And the phone number, let me give this number, some random number. Okay, the authentication method, like how this guy authenticates. This guy, you can have radius, you can have TechX, all those things, or you can have the checkpoint password, which is checkpoint password is nothing but you create the password on the device itself. Okay, so set new password. I'm going to give the password of test, or let us give test pass itself. So test user is a username, test pass is a password. Test pass. If we go and give OK, I think, see, you can restrict this user from multiple locations, or you can restrict this user at certain time, right? Only at this particular time of during these days or these timings, this guy should be able to connect to the network. So you can do all those restrictions here. You can have some certificate authentications also, encryption part you can declare. It's default set to IP. Okay, so some basic settings, but no need to change these things and all. Generally, these things will be left default. Only these fields have to be configured with the right information. Okay, so I think I've filled some test informations. Okay, let us go and create a user group. So we created a user. We have a user now, and we're going to create a user group now. So we go and create a user. I'm going to create a user group, and I'm going to say it is like RA VPN remote access VPN group, right? And I'm going to add a user in, right? I'm just going to go and add a user, test user. Hey, there is already one user called admin. That is one that which is used to access the device. That account is already there. Now we created one more account called test user, and that user account, test user, we are adding him in the remote access VPN group. Okay. So what are things that we did so far? We enabled IPsec blade, we enabled remote access blade, and then we selected the link on all. Before all these things, we fetched the topology, and then after the topology, we enabled the blades, and we selected the VPN link and all, and we create some user and user groups. We add the user to that user group, and now let me go and add the security policy. That's the last thing. So you have to go and add the. Oh, sorry, I forgot this. You have to create the VPN community. Yeah, that is also important. So we're gonna go with the VPN community, and there's already a default community called remote access. We're gonna use that. And what I would like to do is let me go and edit or click on that. So already it says, when you click on the remote access blade, since we checked, now in the gateway section, since we checked the remote access, mobile access VPN. So this remote access VPN community already added that gateway, right? We already have the gateway that we want. Only thing that you wanted to add is participating user group. Okay, whom you wanted to participate in this group. Here you can add all users, or you can access, you can select some group alone. I'm just going to select the group that we created. We have only one user in this group, which is the username called test user. Here the participating gateway is this guy, and participating group is this group. Good. Let's go and give OK. And I'm going to go and create a security policy, right? Because we want policy to allow those users to come in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and create a new rule about, I'm going to say allow VPN users. Okay, so we'll go and select the source. Hey, see, usually if you see the direction, right, once the VPN is configured, in which direction people will be coming from, right? These guys, we have a rule for VPN users, and the direction of the VPN users will be where? It will be coming from here, and they might go to inside zone, or they might go to VPN zone. Right? So what you have to do is, right, the source is coming from, when you see the direction, the source is this. Right? So what I would like to do here is, I wanted to go and configure. Right here, I cannot choose the outside. right? I cannot use the zone as outside. Instead, what I'll do is I'll go and add this. I'm just right clicking to this. I right click and clicking on add legacy user, and I'm going to go and select the group that I created. A location can be any, but the group is this. Right? Anyone who belongs to this group, right? Now the firewall automatically understands, okay, if this is if a group is added on this place, then definitely the people will come from where? The people will come from the remote access only, because that is how we even in the community also we added this group. In the community we added this group. That community is a remote access community, right? And it is very well the firewall to understand the source is going to come from where. The source is going to come from outside, right? You don't have to mention outside here. Instead you can mention the group, so that the firewall automatically understand, okay, from outside, if anyone who's belonging to this group is trying to access, right? Now here you can give the zones. So I'm going to have inside, and I'm going to give outside. Sorry, DMZ. So these are the two zones that is allowed, right? And don't forget, this is very, very important. If you didn't select this VPN community, then this rule will not work, right? You have to go and add the community, specific VPN communities, and I'm going to select my remote access community. Okay, so this is how it understands now. The file understands now, okay, anyone coming from outside, that to particularly belonging to this particular group, if the user is belonging to this group, if the username password is right, then they are allowed to go to which two destinations? They are allowed to go to inside, and they're allowed to go to DMZ, right? And service can be any. You can restrict some services, or you can allow all the services. The action have to be definitely accept, and maybe if you wanted to log, you can log. Good. Right, see, this is simply right now what we are planning is, our plan is from here to here. I'm not allowing any inter traffic. If you want inter traffic from inside to outside, or in DMZ to outside, you have to create a separate rule for that, right? See, that is something that we already know. You know how to create a rule for inside to outside and all. I'm just concentrating on this one alone. This is something that is new for us. So I'm just going to go, or it's going to stay with one single line. And I think I've done everything. Yeah, very simple, right? See, in Palo Alto, it used to be a big configuration, but in Checkpoint, there's just few configurations here. Generally, there are few things that I like in Checkpoint, which is the configuration part will be, or most of the things will be very user friendly, and the number of steps will be very less comparatively when you compare Palo Alto and Checkpoint. Checkpoint, the configuration time will be less, but if you wanted to have a clarity on what is exactly happening, right? If you want to really understand what is exactly happening, Palo Alto is the best firewall to configure, because Palo Alto doesn't do anything automatically. Everything you have to configure one by one, right? Palo Alto configuration is like you set up multiple modules separately, and at last you integrate all the modules together. Whereas in Checkpoint, it's very user friendly, time consuming. It won't be time consuming. Checkpoint is very easy to configure, but most of the things are kind of a hidden practice, right? So they'll automatically take care of few things, so that if you want to understand the concept very well, Palo Alto is best. If you want to configure the firewall easily, then Checkpoint is best. Okay, let's go and install this policy now. So once the installation is done, we should have the VPN gateway. Sorry, we're gonna have a security gateway acting like a VPN gateway also. So let's see now. Let's install this. Okay, all the certificate creation, all these things, the Checkpoint will take care of himself, right? Whereas if it is a Palo Alto firewall, from the certificate, everything you have to create one by one by one. Right here, all the certificate creations are done in the back end. The firewall will take care of everything, and the installation succeeded. Finally, now we should be able to connect this Windows user from here, this Windows client. You should be able to connect to this VPN gateway. Right now, is a VPN gateway, and you can access all the Office local resources. Let's go and start him and check. I think he's already there. Okay, let's go and check his reachability. Let's see if he has got internet access or not. Ping 8888. It's working. So let's go and connect with a uh, with a office network. Okay, so we have endpoint security already here. It is already running, right? Even when you click, what will happen is when you click on this, you will get the icon in this place, and also you can see that in the taskbar is already there, right? See, either you can click on this and you can bring the icon in this place and you can start, or since icon is already in this place, which means endpoint security is already running, you can just right click on this endpoint icon, connect, and it says, okay, there is no site already configured. Do you like to configure a new site? Say yes. Okay, now the wizard starts, and in which we're gonna configure the site. First site you have to configure, and then you have to connect. Okay, trying to detect it automatically. Okay, now it couldn't detect automatically. Now it's asking for the server IP address. So what is a VPN gateway? This guy is VPN gateway. The public IP is what? 200.1.116, 200.1.116, and you can have the display name as Chennai Gateway. Okay, next. We'll try to connect. Okay, now see, this is where it says the security, the certificate that has been shared by the firewall is not trusted, because again, this certificate is not in the certificate store of this Windows client. It's a self-signed certificate. But what we have to do is we have to click on this trust and continue, so that we trust the certificate. And then now it's taking what is a prefer, what is only one method that has been configured, which is a VPN default. So we'll choose that and go next. And what is the authentication method you wanted to? If you have a certificate, you can show that, right? Or if there is some other way, you can show that also, right? Secure. This is where the RSA keys you generally use. And you have multiple authentication methods. Certificate method or username password is a simple one. So we'll choose username password. Next. Okay, it says site screen successfully. Okay. Now, when you give finish, now it's asking you want to connect to that site. Yes, I wanted to connect. Now it's asking for the username password. What is the username? Username is test. User, what is the password? Test pass. So I'm going to click on connect. Okay. Okay. See, now we didn't even create a IP pool for us. So now it says VPN connection is successful. Now it says that, okay, you have successfully connected to the VPN. Now when you right click and when you see VPN options, now I think not this guy. Let me go and click on the properties and see. Yes, properties. So this is the public IP, and this is the IP that is given to this client, 172.16.10.1. Who gave this? See, usually Checkpoint, they have a default network, or even a default object, I can call it as. When you go and select on this object, and if you explore the object, if you just select the network alone, you can see, can you see? CP, Checkpoint default office mode address pool, right, which is nothing but this address pool will be taken for all the remote access client. See, it is a /24 mask, so we're going to have 256 IP addresses totally. You can change it if you want, right? You can go and change this scope, or you can create a new scope. If you have more clients and if you think /24 won't be enough, you can go and create a different you can create a different address pool for VPN clients. But here I would like to use the same thing because this is enough. See, all these things are already there. These settings are there. But whereas in Palo Alto, you have to configure each and everything manually. But here, Checkpoint has got many default objects, and it's going to use the default objects automatically. If you wanted to change it, you can change it, or you can just go with the default itself. Right? And I'm getting this address in 172.16.10.0. The reason is because that is a scope that has been allotted or that has been given to all the remote access devices. You can go and change it. If you want, you can go and change that depending on your remote access client networks. So depending on which network you want, you can change that. Let me go and check the IP configuration. Command prompt IP config, I think. So when you give IP config, it's going to give us two IP addresses. One is the actual IP address of the device, which is 100.1.1.2. And one more thing I want to tell you guys, I forgot to say that. See, this PC, we need to configure the static IP. 100.1.1.2 is something we have to configure, or else this guy will not have internet access. What I did is, right, I didn't do in our class because I was working on this PC before our class starts. I was working on this PC, and at the time I configured the IP address to this PC, and that is why the PC is having the IP address automatically. But when you're doing it, this PC will not have an IP address. You have to go and configure an IP address 100.1.1.2. Hey, so yes, so this is a static IP that I configured before the class starts. That is why it is, and this is IP address that we got from the from where? From the VPN gateway. It is from the checkpoint device. Okay. Also, if you check the route print command, route print, you can see which network will be tunneled and which network will not be tunneled. So when I get route print -4, it's going to give us the output. Let's try again. I think something happened. Okay, let me try again. What happened? Okay, I think now it's fine. Let me try now. CMD route print -4. Okay, now you can see only for the destination 192.168. See, can you see, guys, what is the interface? The interface 10.1, 172.16.10.1. These are the traffics that that will go inside the tunnel, which means, you know, if I highlight this, these are the only traffics, which means all the 172.16 network will go, all the 172.16 network will go, and also we have 192.168 1.0, which is the inside network, and 192.2, which is the DMZ network. Those traffics will also be going via where? It will be going via this interface, which is 10.1, right? So these are the only traffic that will go inside the tunnel. All the general traffics, all the other traffics will be coming into this default route, which the gateway is the actual interface, right? The real gateway, the client will directly go to internet for other traffics. Only for the 1.0 and 2.0, we have a tunnel traffic. So they'll give, those traffics will go inside the tunnel. The destination is 1.0 and 2.0. General internet traffic will go inside the, go as a normal traffic. So let us go and check the reachability of the DMZ server. So we'll take the browser. So let's type 192.168.2.2. So we have the DMZ server reachability. And also let's go and check, we'll go and SSH to the server that we have inside the organization. So we'll go and SSH to this server. So I'm going to take the PuTTY application. So 192.168.2.3 and port is 22. Let us go and connect. I think something is wrong here. Please wait. We try again. Okay, there you go. So I don't know what happened earlier. Now we get this. So we'll accept and you log in as TC. That's the username. The password is root. Let us wait for the password prompt. Okay, there you go. So now we should have the CLI access. I think it's taking some time, guys. I don't know why, but we are able to connect now. I don't know whether the Windows machine is slow or not. So you should be able to reach that machine when you try to ping 192.168.2.3. It's working. 2.3 is responding for the ping. Okay, there you go. So you have the device when you give if config. I think something is wrong. Something is wrong with this putty application or something else. But no, the remote access VPN is working now properly. Okay, so let me close this. Okay, yeah, 2.3. Okay, fine. So yes, we have connectivity to 2.0. Let us go and connect to 1.3. Let us go and check 1.3. I'm gonna open command prompt and ping 1.3. So we'll just ping the smart console device. So there you go, you get the reply. Okay, I think there's some issues in the network, I believe. I don't know which device is, I think the Windows machine is somewhat slow. Now why it is, but now we have the reachability. We have some few packet loss, but still it's working. Okay, so you can even take remote access to check that. Remote access, remote desktop connection. We'll try to remote desktop to the smart console device 1.3. See, since these devices are virtual appliances, we cannot expect 100% from them. But you can test the lab; those things will be working fine. But I think there's something wrong in one of these devices. I don't know which device it is. Let us go and log in with the username ng. The password is welcome1 or welcome. So I'm going to connect to the smart console device. Now you should be able to see the checkpoint application here. Can you see? So what I did from this machine, I took a remote control of this PC, and this PC is something that we use to configure this gateway, right? So that is why I see the smart console application here. Okay, so let us close this. Fine. So any doubts? Okay, so then let's start the next one. See, I'm going to stop the recording and start again because I want the HA module to be separately, and I'm going to add this to the checkpoint section, not the VPN section. So let me stop and start the recording so that we can have two recordings today. One will be uploaded in the VPN section, the other one will be uploaded on the checkpoint section.